Hey, everybody, this is Dee Williams, and you are listening to episode number 7 of the Staffing Startup.tv podcast. Let's get fired up.
Welcome to Staffing Startup.tv, the podcast that gives you direct access to the world's leading recruitment, staffing, and startup experts. Dee Williams speaks with amazing thought leaders, venture capitalists, and technology trendsetters about their journey, challenges, and successes related to recruitment, staffing, and hiring. Now, here's your host, Dee Williams.
Woo! All right. Yes, it is officially Staffing Startup.tv podcast day. I know you've been waiting for this, right? The weekend is way too long to wait for just like having some valuable content around your entrepreneurial journey in recruitment and staffing, right? So, hi, my name is Dee Williams. If you don't know, I'm the host of the Staffing Startup.tv podcast, and today we are talking about the Competitive Shakedown. That's right, I said it. We're talking about the Competitive Shakedown. When's the last time you have done a competitive shakedown? I'm talking about not just any type of competitive shakedown. I'm talking about getting an understanding of what your competitors are doing to add value to both their clients and their candidates and the industry as a whole, and then understanding what they're not doing so that you can go in and fill in the gap and create something that is even more dynamic and that, you know, companies definitely want to see and get involved with. So that's the topic of discussion today. It is the Competitive Shakedown. And so first things first, I'm going to challenge each and every one of you to really look at who your key competitors are. And this is for my staffingpreneurs that are currently in business, as well as my future staffingpreneurs who are interested in starting their very own business. I want you to define who your key competitors are. Now, I'm going to give you some tips because some of you are going to say to me, Dee, this is foreign to me. I don't know how to search for my competitors or, you know, and can you just help me? And then some of you are going to say, oh, I know who my key competitors are. And you're going to just rattle off the first agency that comes to your mind, right? But I really want you to be strategic about how you look and see who's in your market. So you can do some really cool things, some small, quick, tasks to help you define a little bit more about who's in your market. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to visit Indeed.com. And that's just one site, but I'll go to Indeed.com, and in the top left-hand corner, you'll be able to see where it says resume, search resumes. So you can go into Indeed and search resumes. When you're in that resume search, you can go in and type whatever your niche space is, but also make sure you add the word staffing on the end, or third party or something to that effect, or consulting. Because typically a lot of people, especially consultants, they'll put the title of the staffing agency that placed them in a particular opportunity, or the consulting firm that placed them in a particular opportunity. Your goal is to figure out who that company is and to see if you can find patterns, right? See if you can find other people who are going through that agency that may have listed it on their resume. Now, naturally, everyone's not going to follow that method, but you can, if you find some folks, you can start to see patterns and you can get an idea of who's in your space. You can also do a Google search, but I don't want you to just do a general Google search, because almost every large staffing agency out there says they fill all of every position. That's not, they're your competitors. Yes, I don't know that they're your key competitors at the size that many of you are at, but they are competitors. But you want to go in and do a search to see if somebody else has a niche staffing business similar to the niche space that you're going in. Are they focusing on DevOps? Are they focusing on recovery room RNs? Are they focusing on full stack developers? Are they focusing on medical sales device professionals? You want to see who else is doing what you're thinking about or doing. We'll be back.
You're listening to the StaffingStartup.tv podcast. For more info on today's show, be sure to check out the show notes at StaffingStartup.tv.
All right, this is Dee Williams, and we are talking today about the Competitive Shakedown, and we are just getting your mind right around really bringing this business to life. Like, if you are looking to start a niche recruitment and staffing business and or scale a niche recruitment and staffing business, knowing who your competitors are is absolutely imperative, because this is really going to help catapult the foundation or the building of your foundation or rebuilding of the foundation of your recruitment and staffing business. This is where you're able to go in and truly separate yourself, define yourself. I was trying to say that first. Define yourself and separate yourself. This is where you can really go in and define your true value proposition, and you'll be able to create comparisons in the process. I mean, think about it. Like, you don't see any like hardcore competition in recruitment and staffing, not like you do with like maybe internet marketing platforms. I love Russell Brunson, and he has ClickFunnels, and then you have I don't know who owns Infusionsoft, but you have that software, and like Russell has this T-shirt that says like "No more Confusionsoft." So he's like really outwardly competing with his competitor, right, and calling the flaws of his competitor, which is really aggressive, but he's doing it. If you look at sometimes different soap commercials. Now, listen, full disclaimer. I haven't watched real TV since like 2015, so I don't know if this still happens. I believe it does, though. Just commercials, like sometimes the soap or the dishwashing liquid commercial, they'll actually have their brand on one side, and then they'll have their competitor's brand on the other side, and they'll say, okay, our brand is better because. So you'll have that, you'll be able to create that comparison that will allow you to be able to show your value to potential companies that you want to tap into in a very clear and definite way, right? A very clear and definite way. So understanding, like, we're really getting into I'm like getting fired up over here. And if you are watching live on YouTube, hey guys, how are you? It's such a pleasure to see you. And my question for you today is, when's the last time you've done a competitive shakedown? Listen, and that's for my podcasters. Please do me a favor. Go to whatever platform you're listening to and definitely give a thumbs up or 5-star. But I want you to also comment in the comment section and let me know, what type of competitive analysis are you doing? Okay, now, so once you get the companies, right? Once you figure out who you want to do, who's potentially one of your competitors, and let me step back because I'm getting excited, because there's another way you can also look for your competitor, and that's through social media. You can look for your competitor through social media and YouTube videos, and YouTube has like a number of programs, and they'll show you really who your competitors are. But you can do a list and type in your niche to see if any other niche staffing agencies have posted videos on YouTube and that are potentially in your area. So you can search that way. Same thing with groups, same thing with pages on social media in both Facebook and LinkedIn. You can also do a basic Google search. But again, don't just go industry focused. Get deep down and see if someone is focusing on the exact positions that you're focusing on. Not just saying this is everything that, not just saying that this is something we offer in a mix of a lot of things that we offer. I'm talking about this is solely what we focus on. That's your key competitor. And if you can't find someone that solely focuses on the same thing as you, then two things, right? One, you're either in a great space to be able to dominate that niche, or two, that niche isn't strong enough for you to really create some massive value. So you've got to analyze that and check that. And that's one of the reasons reasons why you want to do this competitive analysis. Now, for people who call me and say, D, I started my business last year and I've only made 80,000 this year, or I've only made 150,000 this year. A lot of that has to do with lack of knowledge around what else is going on in the industry and how you're creating value. You've got to know who your competitors are. We'll keep talking about it and we'll be right back.
Attention, all registered nurses, physicians, and healthcare professionals. The healthcare industry has a high demand for workers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects 5 million new jobs in healthcare between 2012 and 2022, mainly due to the aging population, number of people needing healthcare, and replacing retired workers. There's a major talent shortage, and you know the talent that companies are looking for. It's time to start thinking about your very own niche recruitment and staffing agency business. From startup through launch, let Staffingpreneurs Academy show you how. Learn more at staffingpreneursacademy.com/healthcare. That's staffing, PRENEURS academy.com/healthcare right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so today we are talking about the Competitive Shakedown. My name is Dee Williams. And I am your host for today here at staffingstartup.tv. Listen, you can do me a favor and you can go to our YouTube channel, which is Staffing Startup TV, and check out the live footage there of not just today's recording, but of all our past recordings and future recordings. Make sure you subscribe and hit the what is it, that little bell button, so that you'll know when we've launched a new episode, which is typically like every 2 days, like 3 days a week. So pretty rich channel there for you to be able to pull some information up. Also, okay, so we are talking about the Competitive Shakedown, and we just went over a couple of ways that we can really go in and figure out who our key competitors are. And again, it's good to know who all of your competitors are. I mean, if you have the bandwidth, and of course you can probably outsource this as well, but knowing who your key competitors are it's really what's going to help you to set your business apart from your competitors, right? Okay, so now once you get to the point where you're saying, okay, D, I heard you loud and clear. I've picked my 5 top key competitors. What am I looking for? Like, okay, I'm here now. What am I looking for? So you want to look at the types of services they offer, right? So like, are they just offering basic staffing? Is it staffing with a twist? Like what are they offering? Is it contract to hire, direct hire, temp, permanent placement? Is it interim search? Is it executive search, training, development, coaching, coding? What is it? What types of services do they offer? How do they deliver their services? What model are they using? I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard somewhere in the Austin area that Robert Half, I don't know if this is true or not, so don't quote me on this, but they basically bring some of their contractors to a client meeting, to the introduction. I don't know if that's true or not. Again, I can't confirm that, but that is a different form of delivery of services, right? So if you don't know that, then it's going to be pretty hard to compete with someone who's bringing the talent right into your client's face, right? Is that something you need to implement as well? How's it working for them? Is it doing great? What's their success rate? You're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to dig in, but you're definitely looking for ways to set yourself apart or to give yourself the advantage outside of your number one advantage. And you and I already know what that is. And that's your niche. Hello, right? That's your niche. So it's going to be important to figure out what types of services they offer, how they deliver their services. Now, also, one of the other questions that we want to ask is like, what are their fees? Now, that's going to be probably a little bit more challenging to find out because most people aren't just going around and sharing their fees. However, on the flip side, a lot of companies don't really care because it's not about what they charge. It's about the value that they deliver, right? So you can find out what I charge per se, but are you going to be able to deliver the same level of candidates or, or the same level of service or the same level of timing or the same level of savings that, that my company delivers. And this is why you've got to do a competitive shakedown so that you can figure out whether or not you are truly the value that you believe you are. Because sometimes, we start looking in the mirror and we say, I'm so valuable, I'm all this and I'm all that. And that's great. And I love the confidence, but you've got to have some facts around that. And the competitive shakedown will definitely get you there. We're going to continue to talk about this. We'll be right back.
Attention, all computer and information technology professionals. It is estimated that the business of placing contract technology workers is at least $1 billion industry. And today, we want to show you how you can become a supplier of tech talent to companies all over the world. That's right. You can put your IT colleagues on contract and build them out. It's not rocket science and is a great additional income. Let Staffingpreneurs Academy show you how to start your very own IT niche recruitment, staffing, and consulting business. Learn more at staffingpreneursacademy.com/IT. That's staffing, PRENEURS academy.com/IT right now.
All right. So this competitive shakedown is serious business. Are you guys shaking in your seats? Are you shaking your hands? I should have got like my maracas. Where are my maracas? Hold on. All right. Let's get a That's the real competitive shakedown right there. So let's talk about, so we talked about what types of services they offer, how they deliver their services, what are their fees, how soon their candidates are being delivered. I talked about that a little bit earlier in the example. I don't know if it's true that that's what Robert Half does, but if it is, that's a great way to deliver their services to their hiring managers. Some companies may do a CIO, which we all know that's a client in office, where they invite their clients into the office and already have candidates lined up and ready for them to interview. There are so many different, variables to this, process. So, we want to figure out how soon the candidates are being delivered, right? And ultimately just understanding your competitors' strengths and weaknesses, right? Because that is going to let you know, ultimately what makes you better and different from your competitors, right? And then I want you to, while you're doing this, I want you to get creative with it. And I want you to show it in a chart or a graph, right? In a way that you may potentially present it to your clients. I would love for you to we have a Snapchat. I don't know what I was going to tell y'all to Snapchat it to me. I'll put the Snapchat link in the box below. I don't know it, unfortunately. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but I'm just going to be realistic with you. But if you want to upload it in our Facebook group, in the Start a Staffing Biz Facebook group, you can definitely do it there. You can also do it on our Staffingpreneurs Facebook page. You can tag me on LinkedIn. You can tag me on Twitter. You can tag me on YouTube. I just want to know that you've done your competitive shakedown. So if you want to share your competitive shakedown, please feel free to do so. If you don't want to, that's cool. You don't have to, but it'll be a great exercise for you to do on your own. And then you'll be able to empower yourself in a totally different way and be able to present yourself in a totally different way. You'll feel more confident when you're walking in the door, talking to hiring managers or talking to CEOs or even talking to executive assistants, people of influence who actually have influence over the people who make the hiring decisions. You'll feel more confident talking about it on social media. You'll feel more confident going to networking events because you clearly know you're a true differentiator. You know what sets you apart from every other agency that are doing what you're doing. And then you can add your own remix, your own flavor, your own spin to this. How did you guys feel about that today? Were you fired up? Yes, we are fired up about recruitment and staffing. I'm not playing about this. This is such a doable thing. And I want each and every one of you to really take in like your process around bringing the business to life. And if it's already alive, what's broken, right? And sometimes going back to the basics, going back to the very beginning is the best way to really really turn an operation around. And so if you're hearing this and you're saying, crap, I haven't done a competitive analysis, I don't know what my competitors are doing, or I know what they're doing, but I can't tell you the last time I actually wrote it out and shared that with customers that I'm no longer working with, or sharing that and making it a part of my presentation, telling a compelling story of how I have assisted companies with these types of projects or these types of challenges, right? Like, hello. Y'all know I get fired up. Listen, I hope you're fired up about your niche recruitment and staffing business. I'm super humbled and thankful that you are here, that you are tuning in or watching if you're on the YouTube channel, getting it in, ready to take your business to a whole nother level. My name is Dee Williams. I support, I cheer on, I motivate, I inspire, I engage with, I high five. Look, with entrepreneurs and staffingpreneurs who are starting and scaling their very own niche recruitment and staffing business. I will see you in the next podcast episode, and thank you so much for listening today. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the StaffingStartup.tv podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you'd like more information on any of our stories, or would like to know how to get involved and share your story, head over to our website at StaffingStartup.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, and please leave a 5-star rating and a super awesome review so others can enjoy the show too. Check out the live video footage on YouTube. Have a great week, and we'll see you next episode.